Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I don't know if I call this a medium reading. I guess it is. But I did some meditating today, and I've been asking for help and guidance from the other side in understanding what's going on politically and outcomes, if they care to share. And so I was meditating and just opening my mind to whoever wanted to come forward. And this distinguished older lady comes forward, and by older I probably mean elderly, you know. But she's very dignified and lovely, and she comes on forward, and I was trying to figure out who she was, and so then I was listening, and it's Sandra Day O'Conner. It's Sandra Day O'Conner. This is what I'm hearing, and I'm thinking, is Sandra Day O'Conner passed? Is she deceased? I don't know, but since I'm not anywhere near my computer to look anything up, I go ahead and I read. And she tells me she doesn't want me to do a Celtic cross by usual, where I do a Celtic cross on the side that is usually before they pass, and then the T on this side would be as after they've passed. You know, she doesn't want me to do that. She does want to give me some perspective, because that's what I'm asking for. And so I pull some cards. And I've been kind of talking to her, and very grateful that she came forward, and thank you very much. And she says it's fine, call her Mrs. O'Conner, even though she was a Supreme Court Justice. But she says that's fine. She and her husband were, yeah, feeling a lot of electricity there. They had a very good marriage. They had a good marriage. Yeah, and she spoke about him as if he were deceased. And sure enough, I looked up later, and he did die in 2009 after a long battle with Alzheimer's. So I did look up Sandra Day O'Conner after I did this reading, and she is not deceased, but she has Alzheimer's or something similar, some type of dementia. She announced this apparently 6 months ago by letter, and in the letter she said that she'd had Alzheimer's for some time, or this dementia for some time. So it's wonderful to read about people after I read with them, you know, through a medium reading. It makes sense to me that she comes to me and says, don't do a Celtic cross, because I have actually read before and on people who have dementia, and they've come through as their spirit selves, you know, with no trace of the dementia. I believe, because I've seen this enough readings I've done with people, and I've seen some interesting things as I'm helping people who are older. The thing is, I believe that when people have dementia, their spirit self is still thinking in a crystal clear kind of way, and that is why there are sometimes moments when their loved ones know that they're there. You know, you can see them looking out from behind the eyes of their loved one with dementia, or can feel them even in the room. I have seen spiritually people like with their hand on the shoulder of a spouse, you know, who is tending to the body, the still alive body with the person with severe dementia. So I see this happening. For a reading I did on Patreon, it was a similar situation where a woman came through, and she's not yet deceased, but she's been out of the public eye for several months, and very elderly, and well, I don't know that she was very elderly, but likely having some illness issues too. So I'm going to ask Sandra Day O'Conner, I'm going to ask Mrs. O'Conner if you would please if you would please give us some information, what we'd like, what we need to hear, what's important for us to hear. You know, I read on her after she came to me, so I just read on her like an hour ago, and found that I kind of know why she's coming forward. She had, as a Supreme Court Justice, even though she was moderately conservative, she had voted to uphold Roe v. Wade. And she was, you know, very much a purist, like she wasn't going to vote along party lines. She was often the swing vote. She's sort of like Justice Roberts in that way, I suppose. You can't assume she was going to vote in a very conservative way, because, you know, she just read the law, you know, and she did her very best. She tells me, though, when she came to me, that she's very concerned about the Supreme Court because, and she tells me it's she and her husband. She says a lot of things like it's she and her husband were very honorable people. I mean, they weren't always perfect in their judgment, and now she's seeing more of her errors. And she says, but any errors made were due to lack of understanding or perhaps some arrogance, she says. But really, she was always trying to be honorable. And her husband felt that way too. And now the word she used was disgusted with some of the things she's seeing happening with partisan appointments for judges. And so she's disgusted by that, and she's concerned. So, and by the way, the other thing she told me, what I heard immediately was that Trump and Republicans, well, Dems too, but Republicans like him. See, she was of the Republican Party, so Trump and Republicans like him who are motivated by greed will self-destruct. She just said it very clearly. She's very firm. And then I read later she is firm, and she came to me like that, very firm. She's not sugarcoating anything. That's why she used the word disgusting. She's very firm. But yeah, she says they will self-destruct. And, and then I asked her, well, is it going to be really messy for the country? And I get Queen of Cups. No, I mean, no, it will be okay. Waters may rush by, but we'll stay stable. So, after that long introduction, okay, Mrs. O'Conner, what would you like us to know? I'm speaking to her spirit. All right, so I'm just going to lay 3 cards. Okay, we have the Hanged Man. I get that she understands why everybody is so concerned about the survival of our Constitution. But she's saying this is going to help everybody look at things from a different angle with the Hanged Man, and there will be delay. She told me that too when I was doing the reading before. There will be delay. She wants to come so we don't lose heart. She just says, don't lose heart. And that's exactly what she said. Don't lose heart. Okay. So she's saying it takes time. Okay. 3 of Cups. Debauchery. I feel like this one is about debauchery. 3 of Cups can be about celebration, but it can also be about, there's a lot of, she's very concerned. She's understanding more and more some of the things that powerful men have done, things they've done that they've considered perks, of their power and wealth. And it's just debauchery, she says. She says there's no place for debauchery. Moral fortitude, a moral compass is so important. Moral rectitude. I don't even speak like that, but what is... Anyway, but this is what I'm hearing. That's what should be at the base of every Supreme Court decision, that and the Constitution and the law. So she's very concerned about that. And she told me before when I was reading that she wants that stuff to come out. That stuff needs to be exposed because it's corrupting. It's corrupting. And we have the 7 of Cups. There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of illusion, she's telling us. Well, we know that because Trump is our president, but I feel like she's... Okay. What are you trying to tell us, Mrs. O'Conner? She's just saying that there are things you don't know that would concern you even more. She sees them now because she gets to wander in spirit. She may be in her bed, but she's not in her bed. So she sees them now. And I just feel a deep sadness with her, a deep, deep sadness. Because a lot of the things she thought were true are not true. I mean, there were meetings that occurred that she was not privy to and never invited to, too much of a straight arrow, and she was a woman, and she wouldn't have dreamed some of these men were taking part in these backroom Negotiations that were not legal and were very corrupt. Yeah, she's not. She's saying there's illusion. She's saying you will be learning things that surprise and shock you. You've got some of it, she says. You've got some of it, but there will be more. So, and she's like, ooh, she's like, and it's coming out. She's like, it is coming out. It is. She's very eloquent. I should watch a video of her and see if she sounds the same in the video to me, but she's very eloquent. She's very precise. She is direct. She does not sugarcoat. We don't hear no. She's a very deliberate speaker. So that'll be interesting. I'll have to look at a video. She wanted to do the right thing all the time. Okay, so Sandra Day O'Conner, Mrs. O'Conner, what would you see for us in the future? You know, I asked her what she would advise for us, and I just hear, do not lose heart, don't lose heart. And I hear there are forces at work on the other side to bring all of this to light, to bring enough to light to change things. And at the right time, they want to preserve peace and the union. But it's going to come, she says. So don't lose heart. Yeah, that was her main message. What can we expect in the future, Mrs. O'Conner? We have the Six of Cups. That's some, lots of looking back. Oh my gosh, lots of looking back. She says the seeds of this always were there. I mean, there were always people abusing their power. There was always partisanship. She knew that, but we will be learning to what extent that has been true. We will be learning to what extent. We'll be looking at her history with new eyes. The same old history, but we'll be looking at it with new insights. King of Wands. She says there is somebody coming. There is someone coming. This is this new leadership coming in, and I think of the Democratic Party, but you know, I also know that there will be those Democrats who are exposed for being part of some of this too, you know. So I mean, I'm not saying that party is all pure, but she said there will be a hero coming. There will be a hero coming. And because I've been praying a lot in the last few days about bring us our hero, our heroine. Yeah, and she showed me the Queen of Swords too. There will be a woman too coming who is very intelligent and very logical and very direct. So they're coming up. They are coming up through the ranks as we sit here wondering when anybody's going to be able to do anything. Yes, they will. Five of Coins for the future. So now, I do not get a feeling that this is about finances, you guys. The Five of Coins can sometimes be about financial woes. I feel like it's more about an impoverishment of morality. The things that keep us safe. We're going to be understanding that. But she says your feet are firmly on the ground. There's still faith. You know, this is a church. There's still faith, she says. But it will be, you know, it'll be something to be taking stock, taking account of what is, both the good and the bad in our governmental system. It'll be something else. Yes, she says she's not much longer for this world. But she's looking forward to being more fully on the other side. Not just these trips, but yeah, she's looking forward to that. And she has spoken to her husband already, she says. So she's been able to speak to him already. Okay, we have the Ten of Cups. Okay, and to me, I was looking at this Five of Coins, and I wanted a clarifier. So we got the Ten of Cups. And I feel like this is the GOP. You know, this a lot of times has been their card. All in the family, right? They get their wish quite a bit. They have a security, unfortunately. But she's saying this is going to be first and foremost about members of the GOP. And it makes her really sad, because that was her party. It makes her really, really sad. She said, if I came again, I'd probably be a Democrat. She's learned a lot. She's learned a lot. Yeah. But, you know, she's always so attracted by the law and order and conventional values. And she's always been so attracted by those things that enhance order, you know? So that's probably why she chose the Republican Party. Well, she was raised in it too. 5 of coins for the King of Wands as well. So we have 5 of coins times 2, you guys. So that suggests to me, yes, there may be some, the suffering. These are refugees too, right? The suffering of the people, the refugees, the people who are sliding into poverty or have been in poverty. The beloved people. My last video, a couple of videos ago, about Americans maybe need to tighten their belt a little, you know, with the effects of the tariffs. And I had commenters saying there's nothing left to tighten, and my heart and my love goes to you. And when I donate to food shelves, you know, and I do that quite regularly. But these are the people. They need a champion, and they're going to get a champion. They're going to get a champion. And we have the 6 of Cups. We have the 2 of Coins. Oh, yeah, that's both parties then. Oh, there'll be some spotlight on the Democratic Party too. But this is all about money balancing for monetary reasons as well, you know? Let me see about this debauchery card, this 3 of... Oh, boy. Your intuition. The 3 of Cups, the debauchery card. The High Priestess, she doesn't speak with her mouth. She speaks through your intuition. And what our intuition has told us has happened has probably happened. That's what she's saying. And we have the Queen of Coins for the... this is a reassurance. For the Hanged Man. There may be delay. She says there may be delay. But there is also stability, and there's security, and there's security for Americans in a broad sense, you know, in a general sense, although it is quite imperfect, we know. The 7 of Cups, we get the 2 of Swords, indecision. Is it this way or is it that way? We have so much confusion. It leaves people indecisive, and a lot of our politicians are right now quite indecisive. All right, Mrs. O'Connor, is there anything else you'd like us to know? She just says be led by your own conscience. Be honest when your politicians are not being honest. Be honorable even if politicians are not being honorable. You are America. This is what I'm hearing. 9 of Wands. So she understands we're sort of battle weary. We are embattled. She gets that. We're probably kind of guarded. It's hard for us to be hopeful about the future. But we're hanging in there. 2 of Coins. You're balancing. We're hanging in there. We're keeping the balance. It's not irreversible. She's saying this is not irreversible. It's concerning, but it is not irreversible. There have been other dark times in American history. So I thank you so much, Mrs. O'Connor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye-bye.